tapping. Tap into your purpose. Tapping.
Okay.
They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. We tapping into purpose. Our purpose. Our purpose. We tapping into purpose. Our purpose. Our purpose.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Zay.
And it's your boy Rashad.
And this is the Raw on Purpose podcast.
Yes, and we back for season number 3. We still in it, still strong, still coming to y'all with that raw, authentic energy, and of course, helping y'all to realize that you can walk into your authentic purpose and be all who you are and make it in this life. And we just here to just reemphasize that and bring y'all the best subjects, conversations that help you tap in more into your best self while you walk in your purpose, right?
Absolutely. First, we want to thank you for joining us. You know where to find us. You can find us on YouTube, Raw on Purpose Podcast. You can find us on Facebook at Raw on Purpose. You can find us on Instagram, Raw on Purpose _. And we're on TikTok, Raw on Purpose _ as well. You can find us there. We're streaming on all platforms from Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. You can find us on all those places as well. We just thank you for your support. We appreciate you. Like you said, we're in season 3, and we're really focusing this season, and at least this part of the season, on entrepreneurship, right? Since COVID happened, it seems like there's been a heightened understanding or thoughts of being an entrepreneur. What does that look like? How do you go about doing it, and all those things? So we're going to be having conversations. We're going to have guests on that have succeeded in business, that have failed at business, what character traits it takes to do those things. So we're looking to really empower you so that we can help you either make the decision to jump into entrepreneurship, or also to give you just an understanding so that you can choose if it's not the life for you, because it's not for everybody. It's a different level of hustle grind. It's just a different mindset.
Yeah, it's
right?
a whole different type of life, living, a way of moving, decision making. It's just different.
Yeah, it's a different lifestyle. It's definitely a lifestyle, and in everything is risky, right? But there's a little more risk on the entrepreneurship side, but the reward is so great as well. So, and we believe it's worth it. So, but we want you to be well equipped walking into it, because I think we both have walked into this whole thing misguided.
Oh yeah,
and have made some mistakes.
So much to talk about.
Yep,
when it comes to it.
That could have destroyed us, but we didn't allow it to. We took the lumps, we took the lessons, and we're just keeping it moving, keeping it grinding. Because it's all a learning process. That's all it is. So today we got a good topic for you in this whole entrepreneur space. You want to let them know what it is?
We're just talking about today, or really about, at least when it comes to entrepreneurship or business, and we'll break those two down too, because they're not the same. You know what I'm saying? Being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, and not two same different things, but the character and the principles of kind of like what build up a strong foundation of a business and as an entrepreneur, right? So that's some of the things that we're going to be talking about, like those character traits and some of those key principles that really build a solid, or is a good foundation for a solid business.
100%. 100%. So go ahead, tell them what's the difference. What is the difference between entrepreneurship and being a business owner, or is there a difference, or are there just differences? Should I say?
Well, I'll say this: I think entrepreneurship is first a mindset.
Okay.
Because I think you can still definitely be working like a 9-to-5 job and still be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Because think about it, you could be working on a job, and there's a difference between an employee working on a job and an entrepreneur working at the same job. One more than likely has a plan, an exit strategy.
Yeah.
He probably negotiated his pay, his or her pay, like all that. other employee probably just accepted what they was given,
Okay.
complains about his everyday and doesn't have anything else going on outside of that particular job.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
feel me?
Yeah.
Just the mindset first of
Okay.
how to do business, make deals, because you know what I'm saying. You could be an entrepreneur or a business owner, but not know how to negotiate, not have people skills.
That's
You know
fair.
what I'm saying? So I would say that at
Yeah.
least for starting there.
Saying that, it reminds me of like as a Uber driver, right? A lot of people as Uber drivers are like, "Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner,"
Right.
and it's like, well,
That's a good example
honestly,
too.
you're more of an entrepreneur. You depend on a a another company to help get you contracts essentially,
Hmm.
right? And you accept whatever terms that they give you, but it gives you the flexibility, right?
Yeah.
So it's really just like it's a job that you have a little more control over your time because you can dictate, right? You're
Hmm.
able to do those things, and you start thinking of different ways on how to grow, how to improve your money. So like for a good 2 years, I was an Uber driver. And one thing that I would do is I understood what are the peak times. So I'm not wasting
Right.
time, not wasting gas. I go
Hmm.
out peak times, go back to the crib, then when the next set comes, so I knew here in Atlanta that between 4 and 6:30, that's that rush hour time, right? So I would go out, hit the streets during that time, and then I'd probably get home around 8 o'clock. Give me time to come have dinner with the wife if she's home, if she's not at work.
Right.
Um, have a snack, take a quick nap. Then 10 o'clock, 10:30, I'm back out there because people are now going to bars, going to the clubs, they're going to games, they're doing this, they're doing that. And then I may go home and chill, or I'm gonna just truck it through.
Right.
I know there's like a good between 12:30, 1 o'clock. I know there's a break where people are just out having a good time, so there's not too much movement. So I can
Hmm.
go somewhere to take a quick nap, just so I can have the fuel to go from like 1:30 to about 3:30 in the morning,
Right.
right? And that like learning that brings the entrepreneur mind, right?
Got you. Yeah.
People that are used to like they'll go and just like I'm working
Yep.
this to this,
Yep.
and
I'm
it's
just at
like
work. I'm work 18 hours.
yeah, and not be
It,
efficient with it.
exactly. They make it the same thing.
Yeah,
Somebody who worked 45 hours,
exactly,
and that's like the I
exactly.
say is like that one of the main differences
Yep.
between that entrepreneurial type of mindset, character. What I'm saying, way of moving, and somebody who just says I got a business or I got something that's like a business, but they're not really working it like a business. They're not, fully utilizing it like it could.
Yeah.
You feel me? So
Yeah, and so in a business, like a business owner is always looking at ways to optimize their business, right? They're always they're like they have a plan and they have metrics that they're working on hitting.
yeah,
So I think that's a so it's not so much differences. One is about the mind and then the other is about the action. I think that might
because think
be a
about
better
it.
way to
At least as a business owner, you own a business. What else? So meaning that, and that's why I'm saying, like, at least as a business owner, like if you own a business, you need somebody. You to either have a mentor if you don't have knowledge, or you need some form of resource material, anything that's going to teach you how to really run a business. Otherwise, you're mainly just a business owner. Think about
100%.
it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you don't have the tools to be a entrepreneurial uh, business owner that's scaling his business, that's different than the business owner itself. Because some people, I'm sure you ran into it, maybe even experience.
Yeah,
I have at least once before. Just saying, I have a business, and I may not even been working it really like that. Like really
definitely
turn
been
it
there.
up like I could, is exasperating to the
Definitely.
highest potential that I could utilize it. You know what I'm saying, with my um, time, energy, and effort and whatnot. But um,
So it sounds like there's if we were to do if we had a line, right?
yeah,
And let's say on the left side is the entrepreneur, on the right side is the business owner. we really want to, you really want to be in the middle, right?
Yeah.
The mindset of an entrepreneur with the ability to be a business owner.
Yep.
So, like,
Yep.
as an entrepreneur, I'm an Uber driver, right? I'm doing those things. As an Uber driver, I may not have optimized it, but I'm a 1099 essentially, right?
Mhm.
As the business owner, I can go and if I got $100,000, I can go buy a McDonald's, right? It's not that cheap, but just for this example,
Mhm.
actually better yet, I could go create a vegan restaurant, right?
Yep.
Put the money in it, hire some people to run it. I'm a business owner, but
Yep.
then when you combine the two, is you're a part of the day to day running the restaurant, looking
Mhm.
at all the different things. So better yet, you
Yep.
own a chain, but as an entrepreneur, you do both,
Yeah.
right? You figure out how to optimize it as well as you invest in it. So that's an interesting.
And
That's a good way to think about it.
and it's good too um to give props to both,
Necessary.
and even both as individuals.
Yeah.
And that's why it's good for the two to link up, partner up. Somebody who has like a very big scale entrepreneur, maybe big business mind on how to really, do number systems, all that type of stuff on a different level. But that business owner probably doesn't even have the time or the energy or the space to even really be thinking on these higher thoughts on business and maybe investing and stuff like that to
Yeah.
grow the business that he owns. But say if, that more entrepreneurial set person that, thinks on a certain frequency, and that business owner is like, hey, let's work together. I'll let you can keep, providing your business with the great service. I'll help you on the back end with the business stuff, the growth stuff, the marketing, all that type of stuff. And and you think about that, I've seen that happen in, like, say, like a brick and mortar business, I don't know, a restaurant, gym, something like that. And then you have an entrepreneur who decided, maybe once was just an employee,
Yeah.
and said, I see an opportunity. I'd like to help businesses grow their leads in their social media presence.
Yeah.
Boom, that automatically, yes, that's a business.
Yep.
And because of his entrepreneur mindset, it provokes him to create an opportunity, not just for himself, but for other people.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's definitely important, right?
Yeah.
Something that we need, and we talk about this all the time. One thing that we need to be really, really focusing on in these next coming years are building strong partnerships. First,
100.
killing ego,
Yeah.
and building strong partnerships because the text says, scripture says that one can set 1,000, but two can set 10,000. So, and ultimately, even when God looked at Adam and he said it's not good for man to be alone, he didn't
Hmm.
just necessarily say that he needed a wife, right? He didn't necessarily mean like, hey, you
Right.
just go get a wife. It's
He
like
just really needed true help
he needed
to
help.
to fulfill that
Yep.
vision.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not good for us. That's why when we get in isolation, we typically get in trouble. You start like, a
Hmm.
lot of people, if they decide to take their life, it's typically in a place of isolation that their mind just got running and they
Hmm.
weren't around people.
Right.
All right. So it's like, but partnerships are so key and so important because not everybody can do everything.
Right.
Right.
Everybody's not 100% on everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Respectively. And like you said, the ego stuff, right? So if we can just, you know, celebrate all the attributes that, like, I have, celebrate what you have, celebrate what you have. Yes, and it'll be on different levels, but and all together we got so many different strengths that are working together like a five-fold, fist,
Yeah.
right? Boom, making a bigger and greater impact, and everybody's getting fed.
100%.
That's what I like about
Yep.
networking, partnership, making magic with people who have like a like mind and they got that common vision. Everybody's just ready to go after it, and that thing work, and everybody and there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's more fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you say, it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. it's good. It's more fun to have success around, other people go with you, and it's not just you, or you know what I'm saying. But you want your friends, you want people who you rub shoulders with, who you do, go to church with, or anybody
Yeah.
that to live the best life with.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Shaq said on the Pivot podcast, it's one of my favorite podcasts out there,
me too,
right?
me too.
I mean, they just have some
Yeah,
really
shouts out
dope
to them.
content.
Yeah.
Yep. Shouts out to them.
Hmm.
And if you guys want to send this clip to them, we greatly appreciate it too. As we talk about partnerships. But one thing Shaq said is he believes in JV deals, right? Joint ventures.
Hmm.
And once he said it, that
Man.
stuck with me because, like, I've never been a person.
That is Shaq for sure.
Right.
Man.
Right. You just look at his portfolio. So
Right.
it's like, for me, I don't like doing things alone, right?
Mhm,
Because I know it takes a team, right?
Mhm.
I don't believe in this whole self-made stuff. You need
Mhm.
people, you need a team,
Right.
you need a group, and you got to
Mhm.
go out. Because like even if we think about golfers, right? Golfing is a individual sport. Tennis, individual sport. Boxing, UFC fighting, all those things are individual sports. However, they have
However.
teams, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of a round, the fighter is going to the corner,
Yep.
and the corner man sees something that the fighter doesn't see during the fight.
Yeah.
So he listens to his cornerman tell him to make this adjustment, to make this change, to do this differently, so that he can better his chances of winning the fight, or
Right.
she can win the fight. Now, when you look at tennis, it's the same thing. Their tennis coach is telling them you need to do this different. In practice for golfers, it's like, hey, we need to adjust your swing, right? Tiger Woods has
Yeah.
a swinging coach.
Exactly.
So there's nothing that you can do individually without a team of people. So I'm just like, yo, it's important that we work together
Mhm.
because I have strengths that you don't have, you have strengths that I don't have,
Mhm.
and my weaknesses will get exposed, but your strengths can cover them, and
Exactly.
vice versa. And so
Exactly.
it goes back to the whole iron sharpens iron. We're just
Yep.
getting better in our different areas.
Straight
And
up.
if we focus on our strengths, then everything comes together very well, right? So simple. So it's like,
Mhm.
um,
Acknowledging our weaknesses, but focusing on our strengths.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because I've always heard like you got to focus on your weaknesses and you just got to make them better. And it's like if you spend so much time focusing on that, like you lose sight of what you're good at, and it can easily breed insecurities in yourself. Right, and then you lose focus, and then now you get more discouraged because your weaknesses may not be growing as fast as. But you really focus on your strengths, and you just continue to sharpen whatever is weak. Right, so as we even kind of pivot this to talking about the whole character, like
Mhm.
because your character and your principles will build the foundation for your business, for your entrepreneurial venture. All right, it has set the baseline to where it will determine the longevity of your business, how your name,
Mhm.
when people hear your name, what they will think of it, and if your empire will implode on itself one day, right?
Right.
Those things are so very important to really focus on and navigate. So, like thinking about character, what are some different character traits that entrepreneurs and business owners should be thinking about to do business the right way? We know that there are successful people that have, and even we talk about what is success as well as we
Right.
discuss these things. But
Mhm.
there are people that for some people making a lot of money. Well,
Mhm.
did you have to cut off a lot of people in order for you to make those things? So when you think of character and principles in business as an entrepreneur, what does that what thoughts or words come to mind for you?
For that character piece,
Yeah,
more so. Well, one thing comes to mind is integrity.
yeah,
You know,
100%.
business integrity. Some might say that doesn't matter. I would say in this country, I could say why they say that. And in other corrupt, governments and civilizations around the world as well. But yeah, integrity is important. You got to think about that. Like any brand, like it's the integrity that keeps them going for a long amount of time. I mean, think about that. Like, even if they make shifts, they're still true and transparent to whatever it is. Whenever you know what I'm saying, as far as the integrity of it,
Yeah.
the ones that are successful, which we will go back to that success part.
Yeah.
But yeah, integrity. What's another thing? I would say another character trait is that what's the word I'm pulling forth, that not that grit, but that ability to persist beyond
Determination.
yeah, that determination, that to that wherewithal to, and that willpower, if you will, to
Yeah.
push past things that may be resisting against, or reaching for even your old self, or um, things that just go against you building whatever it is that you're building, or being successful in whatever it is that you want to be successful for. But what was something that you might have?
I definitely agree with the integrity part. I think integrity is like the main focus and foundation.
Mm-hmm.
If people don't believe that integrity doesn't matter, let planes start falling out of the air. You'll see a company's stock prices drop extremely fast. Right? Let a new car come out and its brake lines don't work. Right?
Right.
We'll find out
Tomorrow.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Right? We'll find out. Um, and like you said, it's hard to tell in this country because it seems like there's a lot of people that are quote unquote successful, that they've harmed people, and because a lot of people don't think for themselves,
Exactly.
right? So they just follow whatever is told. So it's like, it can they can seem as if they're having success. At some point, their lack of integrity is going to catch up to them, whether the company feels it.
Mm-hmm.
But the person that is making those decisions at some point in time, they're going to feel it in one way or another. So I'm just a believer of just doing business the right way, right? And
Yeah.
whatever you say, mean what you say, do what you say you're going to do,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
if you fall short, acknowledge that you fell short, right? And work towards regaining the trust of whatever whatever your business name is or whatever your brand is. Just work on getting that customer's respect back. Another one is consistency, right?
Definitely.
One of my mentors always talks about, like, if you're a restaurant and people don't know what times and days you're open, people are less likely to come back again because they're like, oh, I don't know when it's open, and you'll lose
Yeah.
you lose your money, right? You'll lose business. As far as like even us in this whole podcasting space, like the consistency to drop podcast episodes, every week, and doing the different marketing stuff. We've seen from our own lack of consistency how that can harm your business, how that can slow something from growing, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and life's going to get in the way. Like if I told you like the past 3 or 4 weeks for me, just trying to get here to record some stuff or just to do business stuff, like, your family gets attacked, families dealing with illnesses, especially we're in this whole COVID still, in this whole, well, the heightenedness of or awareness of people being sick seems to be greater. Just the mental drag of day-to-day life, all those things, you still have to be consistent, right? And life's going to happen, right? You can't beat yourself up over life happening, but the key is like staying the course, right?
Yeah.
Having that grit, having that determination. And then I think one that gets really overlooked is gratitude, right? Being grateful.
Go in on that
being
one.
grateful, having the character
For
of
that.
gratefulness. Because first and foremost, nobody has to patronize your business,
Right. Exactly.
right? Nobody has to
Right.
spend $1 with you. Nobody has to call you. Nobody has to answer the ad that you put out.
Right.
Nobody has to
Nobody
do
has
it.
to watch your podcast.
Nobody has to watch your
Huh?
podcast. No, people don't have to do these things,
don't.
but they do. They do for whatever the reason is. So being grateful for the listening ear, grateful for the income that comes in, grateful to have the ability to hire people to help people be able to feed their family. Right?
Exactly.
Especially in a world where it's like, interesting, as the more and more I get into business, the more you understand that if you don't have, if your focus is solely on making money, and
Right.
you don't care about other people, you're going to consistently just think of how do I do this cheaper so I can keep more money in my pocket
Yeah.
outside of, opposed to how can I maximize what I'm doing while I'm able to feed help other people feed their families, right? If you understand how businesses work, especially like the corporate or the like Inc. 500 top 500 companies in the country world or whatever, how they run Fortune 500 companies, should I say, how they run their businesses, it's off a balance sheet, right? And balance sheets don't have names of people or anything. So like you'll hear this company laid off 50,000 people,
Yeah.
and it's not that they didn't have the money to pay them, but they had the balance sheet. They had to make the balance sheet look good for the investors, right? So now they don't care that these people have to go and try to figure out how to feed their family. The very
Right.
people that help sustain their business.
Right.
Right.
They start looking at them as individuals and started deeming them as numbers.
Yep, they're just numbers.
So
And and hey, it is what it is for me
yeah.
as a business owner. Like I want to employ people. I want to help people feed their family because if people
Right.
are able to feed their family,
Right.
that takes stress off of them.
You have to think about that end result of what that does for a
Yep.
human being.
Yep. Yeah.
If they working with you and you are, and that's the thing, we gotta get rid of this whole like fear of if you give someone who you may not know and you hire them on their team, fearing that they'll like run off or do, you know what I'm saying, and not giving them what really they should be if they're your employee partner or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, it just because once again it comes back to you. I wouldn't want to hire somebody and then be treating them like this and not
Yeah.
me keeping all the profits and just giving them a little bit. It's gonna come back to me even
Yeah.
if they don't tell me I'm a piece of something. They
Yeah.
gonna tell everybody else, and it's gonna
Exactly.
get back to me. And it's gonna affect my bottom line at the end
Yep.
of the day. So
Yep.
I might as well take care of the people,
Yep.
so the people are happy, so they can actually tell good other people good things about the business, the company, and they'll probably want to come help
Yep.
and be a part of the vision, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. That's always
trust.
been. Yeah. Trust. Build that trust. Like
Yeah.
invest in your people. And so what if they
It's on your
leave?
shirt.
Right. Yeah. It is. So what if they leave?
Yeah.
If they leave and you've made them better, right? And again, in our country, first of all, we understand why they look at the balance sheet because they never intended to pay for work in the first place. So if we understand what our real history is about and how they took people from their land, went to Africa and these different places and brought them and forced labor upon them, and how they came and kind of destroyed, or not kind of, but came and destroyed the people that already inhabited this land and turned them into slaves. And like that whole thing of dominating other people built our financial infrastructure, and it has never changed. And so now the focus is like, how can I take advantage of this person while I get in ahead, right? So this is where the whole conversation of what does success look like to an individual, right?
Because success for the Europeans that came to this country was what they did.
Yep.
This was their plan and their strategy.
Yep.
So they deemed this as successful because success is the fulfillment of a certain ideal and working towards that thing and then seeing that thing in actuality. So it could be small, big, medium, whatever. So they think that that was successful.
Yep.
Many people will not, but to them,
Yep.
that's what the vision that they had in their mind. Though, was mad, corrupt, messed up, very very inhumane, all that type of stuff. But
Yeah. And it's like, honestly, what I learned, even like one of the jobs where I got to work close to the owners of the company, and what I really learned is like, business doesn't care. Like, honestly, it's not business. Money doesn't care about people. So if having a lot of money is your goal, you will lose sight of the fact that these are individuals that are either patronizing you or are working for you. And that if you don't take care of them well, like your business is not likely, because people don't talk about how expensive it is to now have to retrain people. That's the thing I don't get is
Right.
like if you just train them and then treat them well and help them maximize their potential while they're with you, you don't have to worry about having to invest more time. Now you got to do paperwork for the dismissal. Then you got to take the time to find somebody new. Then you got to invest more money in training them. And then if you mistreat them, you got to go through the process all over again. All right. Now, there are people that are going to leave. That's just natural. They're going to see a different opportunity. They're going to leave. You can't help that. But if they're leaving because they don't see growth from you, they don't see the ability to expand under your leadership, right? And me and my guy Joe, shout out to Joe Lemon, another great podcast. Go check out the Joe Lemon Show. One of my big brothers, and he started to one of my business partners and as well as mentors in this whole podcasting space. One of the things that him and I talk about, and sadly, the thought lost my mind.
I was like,
hyping
he's
him up,
going
right?
too far. I was like, he's gonna lose.
Right. Dang it. What was I? Remind me what I was saying.
I'm trying to circle back, spin the block back to where we were. I'm still trying to find the spot.
Right. Me too.
Oh man.
But dang. What are we talking about? See, this happens, right?
But you were, at least the last thing that I remember, you were talking about the not the trust, but
helping people, building people.
Yeah.
Anyways, it'll come back to me randomly. Because I believe it's important to give people their flowers, right? So even if I lost my track, it's all good. That's my guy. But it's important that we invest in our people. We really show them what they mean to us, because once you do that and once you're able to do that, then again, it helps you sustain your business longer.
Right.
And then people, whenever you get openings, you don't have to go search for people. You just ask from within, and because they know you, they know what you're looking for, and they can now point you in the right direction on where to go and where to find to get some good, strong help.
Right.
Because that's what it was. So like people are talking about how because of the pandemic, nobody wants to go to work. And so the conversation we're having is like, is it that people don't want to work, or is it that the leadership sucks so bad that they would rather stay at home and struggle than to come be a part of
That's a good example, because people are emphasizing the first part more so than the core issue. Because that hasn't changed. That's the thing. Definitely the leadership in most of these businesses have not changed. At least as far as a nation, the minimum wage hasn't increased. There's just not many reasons as far as like these corporations that are paying low, wages, and it's not a really good reason, especially when the pandemic flashed with you like the possibilities of all and what you can do when you got some money, when you got some opportunity and some time. So they're like.
And if we understood that big businesses actually benefited more from the pandemic than really average people, because most of the money they were pumping in went to them. So it's like, again, if you're not a person that really thinks outside the box, and if you're listening to the news and you're listening to these people lie and tell you, you'll miss out on the fact that really most companies were in they were in the black. Like largely, like they had record profits for businesses, and nothing changed with them, right? And then they still, like, as we go into this recession space, they're laying off people because they misused the funds that they had. But the sad thing is, again, us as people, we prefer comfort, and we're not going to push back on them. Like, there's some things that I've stopped purchasing and some businesses I've stopped patronizing because it's just like, it's not right. You know what I'm saying? Like you did all these things, and some things like they've ingratiated in our life so much that it's hard for you not to, because every company that you may run to is very similar to to that company. But it's like so many small businesses that could have been really helped through the pandemic was actually destroyed because
that was their intention.
Yeah, that's part of Yeah, because competition. As much as we say competition helps, like they don't want competition because if
No.
you have competition, it actually forces you to lower your prices, which then, in their mind, leads to deficits, which isn't true, right? If people can afford what you have,
Right, in a
and
tough time or something like that too.
you'll keep
Yeah.
them forever.
All right.
You'll be able to keep them forever because
Right.
honestly, this recession is unnecessary.
It is.
People struggling is unnecessary, and I understand that it's a cycle, right? That
Yep.
you can go through the metrics and see like this happens every so many different years
Mm-hmm.
through changes of presidents of um, uh, seats in the House and Senate and all that stuff.
Yep.
A change in politics, right?
Yeah.
Really, the political game really kind of
Yeah.
impacts this and causes trust or mistrust or trust in.
All the way through.
Yeah.
So that even guys the stock market, yeah, all that, yeah.
And then if you look at the radicalizations of both sides come from people that have been taken advantage of and not really treated fairly. So we're seeing all those things right before our eyes, but because we're comfortable, we oftentimes we're just like, that doesn't affect me. I'm good, right?
Right.
But it's important as business owners and entrepreneurs, right? It's important for us to care about those people because if you pour into those people, it's like your spouse. If you don't pour into them, your relationship and your marriage is not going to last long.
All right.
But if you do, you give yourself a better chance of success outside of purely money. You'll be able to have a level of success. And the possibility, just like a spouse, the possibility is they may wake up and be like, I don't want to be here no more and leave, just like with a job. But you can rest easy knowing that you did everything you could to make sure that they were able to take care of their families in a healthy way and you poured into them. Right. So I think that's super key and important as you're building your business. What are your principles, right? What do you stand on? Is family a focus for you, right? Are you making sure that people have that family time, or are you like consistently trying to gobble up their time?
Right. You're giving them mental space, head space to focus on their mental health.
Yep. Yep.
Which is great and necessary, especially today, to give your employees some form of mental leave break. You know what I'm saying? Anything to help them to be mentally healthy.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Because
that's the last thing you want to hear about is an employee jumping off out of your building. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's going to make you raise a lot of questions about yourself.
Yep.
About your business, maybe the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, what did I do to make, or what happened? What could I have done? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna. There's things that you can't stop and people gonna do anyways. Yeah. But it's still gonna make you think about some things. If God
hopefully,
forbid.
right?
Yeah.
Hopefully,
right.
If you're a narcissist, you're not gonna care. Right? If you're a Walmart, you're not gonna care. You're just gonna in 3 days hire somebody else, right?
Right.
And even like talking about success, right? Everybody would acknowledge that Walmart is a successful business, right? However, not many people know that Walmart. I think Amazon may have overtaken them, but Walmart has the highest level of people that live off of welfare working for them.
Facts.
Right?
It's like, what is all right? It's like, what does that say?
What does that say? Right? What does that say?
It sounds like they hire a lot of employees. You know what I'm saying? To cover what needs to be covered instead of maybe what a store may need only 40 employees. They got 100 in there, and because they know that 100's not going to last the whole month. Let's get as much production out of them as much as we can. We know they're gonna go. We might have to let some go.
That's a possibility.
Numbers game.
Yeah, it's a numbers game. At the same time,
and you know how they gonna pay the little assistant managers a little bit. It's just so they can manage them.
But we all know that they can pay more, right? And it's like they always say you got to adjust the price, and it's like, well, at what point in time is like too much? Like if like you think about these people that are their net worth is more than a whole country combined, right? Some of that stuff can, and it's a free country, so you do what you want, how you do business. You know, if you sleep well, at the end of the day, you got to answer to your maker, right? You got to answer to God for what you did, what He gave you. And,
Right.
you know, some people would disagree with what we're saying. It's like, no, maximize, get all the money that you can, bump who you. It's like, okay, like, you know, some people sleep at night, and I think some people lie to themselves at night too. Right?
No, for real.
So we
So
can't think that it's all pretty. We don't know, but I think going into this new world of thinking, it's important that we do things the right way, because businesses impact the world.
they do.
Entrepreneurs impact the world.
They do.
And
They really do.
if you have a heart and a desire to help people, entrepreneurship is a great way to do it. For me, like, you know, I talk about how I want to go about making money. It's like I just need enough to where I can take care of my family and that they're secure and safe. I'm going to negotiate for a fair price, but my goal is to have people that I can now employ that they can then be able to feed their family and give them the tools they need to even possibly leave one day, right? Because honestly, we should train people to leave. We should prepare people to leave.
That part.
So that they can be in a better spot.
And those are signs of true leadership within a business, because that's what true leaders do. They seek to make whoever they are that is with them, following them, working with them, to be even better than they are.
Yep.
When they're gone.
Yep. Because it bodes well for you.
The success it on.
Yep. It bodes well for you, because then someone's like, oh man, they helped them get to that point. Then you invest in them, and even if they leave, it's still a part of your tree, right? You're the tree, and they're you were planted in this space, so you were off of somebody else's tree. You were planted into this space. You grew tree that bear fruit. Now your fruit has to be plucked off and placed somewhere else so that they can grow. But you'll always be a part of their DNA. So it's important that you think about that. And as a leader, because even you got to work on replacing yourself, even as a business owner and entrepreneur in the space that you are, so that it opens you up to what's next to you, right?
Yes.
One thing I hear about, the pivot talk about a lot is like, you don't retire, you just move into your next role in life, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you never escape purpose, right? You get to a point to where you fulfill that first part of your purpose, and then God calls you to a new space, and then you go and fulfill that, and you keep doing those things until it's time for you to no longer be alive, right? It's just like the man of the word the man. Jesus tells a story about the man that was like, hey, I gained more, I built a new barn. I made more, I built a new barn. And once that very large barn, he sat down and said, ooh, I can rest now. And Jesus came back and said, oh, you fool, your soul is required of thee. You have all of these things, but your soul was required, and you missed the mark, right? So just because you have all the money and you have all these things does not mean you've reached the mark, right? So make sure you keep that in mind, is you're always growing in a new phase. So even if you retire and vacationing and going and traveling is important, you still add value to people wherever you travel, right? You pour into people. You share your experiences to help those that are coming behind you avoid and miss some of the things that you do or you did, so that you can help them grow and be better.
100%. Because your purpose or your vision, like, it's like no matter how much money you got, like, you can't help but like let that spill out wherever you are.
Yeah. Yep.
It's what comes out. It's what you must express. It's the God within that must be expressed to share. That's the love, you know what I'm saying? That provokes to share, no matter with or without. Having a lot or having a little, like, it's something that you want to give. So I know for me, like, that's why, like, investing in things that you love and finding a way to monetize that by doing it is so important, because you're doing business, but it doesn't seem like business, and it's coming more from a genuine place, and you're more invested in people. Because I would say this, say like an owner of a business that is passionate about whatever that thing is,
Yeah.
that business or whatever the industry is that's in, um, that person is going to be more invested in the people and the teams that are with them than a person who just sees like a very high ROI on an investment that you can make in a certain industry. And they're like, oh, so that's all you got to do is put that in and do that. They're more so concerned about production numbers and getting to that certain type of goal and whatnot, um, with maybe not the full um, what I'm saying, realization that people are needed in order to fulfill that number quota.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, um, we have that in the world. We have people who are passionate in something. We have people who are passionate more about the money part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean even ones who are more passionate about the money part are bad.
Yeah.
You really need both. You know what I'm saying? You need people that are super invested in the quality of the most important resource, which is the people,
Yep.
and the one that knows how to really produce a lot on the number side as well. A little bit of balance, but it's important. It's important though. But I just think that just knowing, you know what I'm saying, who you are if you're a business owner, where you stand when it comes to that, whether you're more passionate and if you're more of your heart is into it, or if it's more of a business thing or a deal or an opportunity where you're focused more so on producing and getting certain numbers, hitting certain numbers and whatnot. But we need both. We need both definitely. But we definitely, I think we these days we need a little bit more on the people side
Mm-hmm.
of building and people recognizing people as being the foundation
Yeah.
of most businesses.
Yeah. Honestly, people are the foundation of
Right.
businesses. Because, like, if you go to a restaurant and the customer service sucks, you're not coming back again.
No.
But if they're, like, amazing, right? So the product that they're serving is amazing and the service that's being provided is amazing, you will consistently come back. And even if you go 5 times and let's say you have someone that's having a bad day that's serving you and it's a bad experience, you can lean on the other 5, and it's more likely that you'll give them a better chance because you've made investments in them, in their good service, right?
Mhm.
That's like, we went to a spot when we were in Dallas the other week, and we went to this one spot, and the food was delicious, right? We tried to get back to them, but we missed the mark, and we went to this other restaurant, and we were like disappointed in the food. Now, I'll say the one thing that was good to me, because like I worked hard that day, I got me a salad just so I could balance it out with the carrot cake that I wanted, right?
Uh,
And the carrot cake was delicious.
it's busting.
Oh, it was busting. I said, all right, next time I go, because the other restaurant necessarily doesn't have like the dessert options I like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna patronize both, right? I'm gonna
You
do
know what
both.
I'm saying?
Their food,
Best of both.
like
Everybody
this place
gets some.
had some of the best chicken tenders.
I was hoping you wasn't gonna say chicken
Oh
tenders.
my goodness,
I knew he was
bro.
gonna say chicken
Bro, they
tenders.
they batter their mugs and some, I think, rice flour. Oh,
Oh, what?
oh.
Rice flavored
I
battered
mean,
chicken tenders?
bro. Oh, it was juicy,
What?
bro. It was juicy
What?
and light.
So they didn't feel all greasy and overly battery, overly seasoned and
No, and the owner of it, got to meet him, and got to spend some time with him actually
with
on
who?
Wednesday and Thursday. Owner of the restaurant.
Uh-huh.
If you're in Dallas, this is a shameless plug for him because he's just such a great dude. Has an amazing story, and I hope one day we'll be able to help tell the story. But it's Fork and Fire. In I think it's like Plano, or no, it's in Frisco. One of those two. One of those cities. It's in Dallas. It's in the
One
Dallas
of those
metro
little
area.
outskirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's working on the second location. Got to see what it looks like now. I
Mhm.
can't wait till we go back to Dallas. I said, anytime I go to eat, when I go to Dallas, that's the place I'm going to. Them chicken tenders were that good to me. They had these pastrami rolls, bro.
Rolls?
Yeah, they're like almost like spring rolls. Oh,
What?
so delicious. One
Whoa.
guy got, I think some got like some salmon. It was delicious. Like everything was good. From what none of us had complaints about the food. The service was great.
That's a good night. That's a real good,
Oh, it's
you know what I'm
good,
saying,
bro.
experience right there.
Oh, it
Everybody
was.
really good with what they had.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
delicious, bro. It was
yeah.
delicious. Oh, what's so funny? Like their food, like it's such a good company. So we're just because we knew the owner, and so we went to another restaurant. Like so, we missed them being closed. So
Mm-hmm.
we asked the guy. We were like, "Yo, so what are some other places that are good to eat? Let's say, if just we're here, we may want to try something another night." That joker gave us every restaurant
Oh,
but that restaurant, bro. And for him, he didn't know that we ate there the night before, and definitely could say without the benefit of the doubt that their food was much better than theirs. They didn't have nothing on the menu I really wanted to eat. It didn't really look
mm-hmm.
all that appealing to me. But the carrot cake is what got my attention. And you know what saved the carrot cake really? They had some oven roasted pecans on it, bro. It was like I think honey roasted. Oh,
Whoa, whoa,
made it so good. But
whoa. Wow.
you notice I'm not naming the company. Also, I don't even remember the name of it.
Yeah, because I don't hear nothing about
All right, I don't remember the name of it.
case in point.
Yeah, case in point. But
Yeah.
Fork and Fire, great service, great food. And I could be a little biased because I know the owner. But even if I didn't know the owner, actually I didn't know the owner. I just went to go eat, and it was someone that I was traveling with. They knew them. We didn't really get to have a real good conversation till the next day. But it was delicious food. Fork and Fire. I'll say it again. This is free. So if you're in Dallas and you hear this,
Hey, getting a free plug here.
free plug. And he's a good dude, man. It was great. So and that helps me understand. Like once you hear people's stories, it's like, yo, anybody that I know in Dallas, anybody that's like I'm going to Dallas, I'm gonna say, hey, you got to go to Fork and Fire. It's delicious.
Plano.
Plano.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's in Plano, Texas.
Yeah.
Just outside of Dallas. And then they're opening another location about 20, 30 minutes away from that one. Right? And then he was like, yeah, this is the next spot. So that's like closer to where my boy lives. I was like, oh, yeah, for sure we're going to.
Even better.
Yeah, man. I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. It's super dope. But that lets you know. That helps with like the principles, right? Because you think about
It does.
you look at Chick-fil-A, right? What Chick-fil-A is known for is the service that they give, which through their service allowed them to become the #1 fast food chain in America.
And that integrity with that.
Yep.
That consistency.
Yep.
With that. That's what's been keeping them like that.
Yep. And because the only reason why people go to McDonald's is it has the narrative of being cheaper. Which is not really that much
Especially
cheaper.
Not now.
Right?
No.
So that's what they had to do is trick you into believing it's cheaper, or it started off being cheaper, but it's also the worst for us. But people, because they've gone to it, people don't care that it's harming their bodies. And not saying that Chick-fil-A is even better for your body, but it's slightly better possibly.
Yeah, slightly.
But it's like I go to Chick-fil-A because I know it's like...
you feel better going to Chick-fil-A.
And it's just the service.
It's the service, presentation.
I don't care if you go to the wrong parts of town.
Yeah.
They're going to get, how may I help you? My pleasure. Like the things similar. You're not catching too much.
95% of the time you're going to get that.
Yep.
That ain't Chick-fil-A.
Yep. Ain't Chick-fil-A. They're quick to help. They'll you don't have to deal with attitude.
All right.
But you go to these other places.
And if you ever did, trust me, they were very well dealt with. But I don't.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We don't know what goes on outdoors when you don't.
I can't even tell you the last time I went to McDonald's, bro. People like, nah, I'll sit here, I'll fast before I eat McDonald's. Like, I'll go get some.
Man,
I'll go to the gas station and get some trail mix. Yeah.
That's just not even a thought as an option.
Right, I might get a cup of water from
even that. Even that, I feel like if I was in a real dire situation, maybe
Anyways, so as we close, right? It's important that you invest in people. Make sure you find out what are your principles. So as you're thinking about your business concept, what are your principles? What are the things that are going to set the foundation? Because you're either going to build it on solid rock or you're going to build it on sand. And sand is easily destroyed. Just one little some water will destroy it, but something that's built of stone, that's anchored, that's you know, it will be able to sustain through the test of time,
Right.
through pandemics, through recessions, depressions, all those things. That it'll be able to still be standing after everything is all said and done. So just make sure as you go into this, identify the people that you can help groom and grow, so that you can honestly work yourself out of that role, to where now you could be more of an overseer, to where you're not spending day-to-day time there, but you're there just empowering those that work with you. That you understand that you're stewarding them as well as you're stewarding the business. Any last words you would like to say, bro?
No, no real last words, but definitely keep tapping in with us. This is only the beginning of this whole thing when it comes to entrepreneurship, business, success, if you will. So it's going to be definitely a great series. Definitely on this, we will be having some guests coming through, all that good stuff. And especially if you have a business, been thinking about entrepreneurship, been thinking about owning a business. If you haven't stepped into that field yet, you definitely want to keep tapping in with us this season for sure, to get some nuggets and to really get the right inspiration, or to get the collective amount of knowledge that you need to be confident in making whatever choice it is that you want to make. You know what I'm saying? As far as your business endeavors, entrepreneurship endeavors, or business ideas, whatever it may be. But the good thing to keep in mind, like we were talking about today, is to keep in mind that, we may have our own business ideas, but we don't have to go about it alone.
Yep.
Learning people skills, learning how to negotiate, and network, and to really make good. And first of all, knowing your own value is very, very key.
Yeah.
Yeah, your own value is very, very key, because that makes a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? That lets you know how you can move in this thing, and whether you can be taken advantage of or not.
Yep.
Naming your own prices, getting paid what you're worth, all those things. You know what I'm saying? That helps you to know that, like, okay, I'm confident. I know I got it. I got something that I can bring to the table to partner up with whomever, and we can make something happen. You know what I'm saying? So building up your value, building up, you know what I'm saying, the skill set and the gifts and everything that God has given you, and just putting it into something wrapped in the vision, you know what I'm saying, with that purpose on top. And then, really putting that good energy into it. And God will definitely bring the people to you to help you fulfill that vision, and also put on your heart to reach out and help other people too, because it's all hand in hand and always comes back full circle. So if we live with a abundant mindset, you know what I'm saying, we can know that we can work together, and we all are going to go up together if we just drop the ego, walk in love, and let's get to this successful stuff. You feel me?
I love
God
my guy.
did.
I love my guy. As man said, I don't really have a last word, and then he does a closing benediction to the whole episode. So we'll definitely,
I ain't gonna be before you
tap
long.
in. Right. I'm getting ready to close.
I promise you.
But we'll definitely dive into knowing your worth, how to ask for your worth, and how to achieve and get to those things. If you have any questions, any thoughts, ideas, anything you want us to talk about in this whole entrepreneur space, let us know, so that we could even possibly find someone that can answer it better than we can, that has more experience in it and may have been more successful, right? We know that we don't know everything. So we have people in our networks that can be able to help answer those questions. So hit us up. You know where to find us. All that stuff is in the description box. So until next time, it's your boy Zay.
And it's your boy Rashad.
And this is the Raw on Purpose podcast.
Keep tapping in.
Tapping, tapping. Tap into your purpose. Tapping, tapping. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. We tapping into purpose. Raw on purpose. Raw on purpose. We tapping